What is going on, guys? A lot changes in a year. Last year at TPS, we ranked all 32 owners from worst to first. Compared to this year's rankings, there was a dramatic change in the bottom 10 and a few notable switches inside the top 10. As always, we're looking at current track records, as well as past performances and future outlooks in our rankings. So without further ado, here's a look at how we ranked all 32 NFL owners for 2020 from worst to first. Number 32, Dan Snyder, Washington Redskins. This once proud organization has become a laughingstock under the arrogance of Snyder, who's compiled a 142, 193, and 1 record since stepping in as owner in 1999. He's recycled through quarterbacks, he's held on to the controversial team name, he once sued an elderly lady for having to give up her season tickets, and he doesn't care about a decline in Redskins ticket sales, attendance, or TV ratings. He seems fine with the visiting team's fans filling up the stadium. The Redskins just have 2 playoff wins under Snyder. This man is just the worst. He's the worst. Sell the team. Do something. Number 31, Shad Khan, Jacksonville Jaguars. Khan, unlike Snyder, at least cares about his fans and doesn't go great lengths to alienate himself from them. But being a nice guy is one thing. Khan simply hasn't gotten a whole lot done as Jaguars owner. Khan took over as the owner in 2012. Jacksonville has only won 38 games since then. The Jaguars have recorded 6 wins or less in 7 of Khan's 8 seasons. Wasting draft picks and running stars like Jalen Ramsey and Yannick Ngakoue out of town is no recipe for success. Also, what's up with the loyalty to GM David Caldwell and head coach Doug Marrone? He seems like a nice guy though. Number 30, Woody and Christopher Johnson, New York Jets. The Johnsons used to be good owners. New York made the postseason 6 times between 2001 and 2010, including 2 trips to the AFC title game. But they've been a downright embarrassment over the past decade. They wasted more money in free agency than just about any other team. They're always affected by locker room drama. They're changing head coaches and GMs every second year. Hopefully by now Jets fans have learned to point their finger at the owners and not just the players. Number 29, Martha Ford, Detroit Lions. We won't understand Ford's loyalty to GM Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia. Jim Caldwell was fired after having 3 winning seasons in 4 years. But Quinn and Patricia are still here after consecutive last-place finishes in the NFC North. Right, that makes sense. Not sure what the Lions want to do here. They keep trying to build around Matt Stafford with 0 success. It's not a good look on Mrs. Ford when the Lions fan base shows up with paper bags on their heads demanding changes. Demands that go unheard. Number 28, Bidwill Family, Arizona Cardinals. Owner Bill Bidwill passed away during the 2019 season on October 2nd. His family has taken over ownership, and though the future is looking promising with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins, the recent results speak for themselves. The Cardinals have been among the worst teams since 2016. 3 head coaches in 3 years from 2017 to 2019. Where's the stability? That said, the Cardinals are poised to turn a corner soon. That will help the Bidwills shoot up the rankings. Number 27, Mike Brown, Cincinnati Bengals. Well, the Browns used to be good. Remember when they made the playoffs every year from 2011 to 15? To Brown's credit, he finally fired Marvin Lewis after the 2018 season. He actually spent some money in 2020 free agency as well. And most importantly, he didn't disrupt the 2019 tank job, which netted the Bengals Joe Burrow. Brown has been viewed as one of the worst owners in sports for a long time now. But the future's looking brighter and brighter in Cincy. Number 26, Jimmy Haslam, Cleveland Browns. A 33-94-1 record since he took over as the owner in 2012. Kinda speaks for itself. But Haslam is a bit higher on this list due to the fact that the Browns actually look poised to turn things around in 2020. We said that last year too, about 2019, and it never really happened, but let's hope this year's it. Although it's embarrassing how often he changes his GM and coaches, Haslam gets a thumbs up for knowing when to make the change. For example, the Freddie Kitchens and Hugh Jackson firings. Haslam looks like he got himself a savvy GM in Andrew Berry and a qualified head coach in Kevin Stefanski. The Browns should be back in business real soon, hopefully. Even though they never really were in business since like the 60s, but you know what I'm saying. Number 25, Glazer Family, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Landing Tom Brady and Rob Gronkowski isn't enough to move up on our list that much. Such is life when you haven't made the postseason since 2007 and have only 1 winning season since 2011. The Bucs had 5 different head coaches in the 2010s, and yet GM Jason Light has held the GM role since 2004. Okay then, maybe Brady and Gronk will erase nearly 2 decades of embarrassment since Tampa's 2002 Super Bowl season. Number 24, David Tepper, Carolina Panthers. The Panthers went 12-20 through Tepper's first 2 seasons, but he deserves credit for going with his brain and not his heart. Firing Ron Rivera and releasing Cam Newton weren't easy calls by any means, but he knew they were necessary. We love the hiring of Matt Rule as head coach, and Teddy Bridgewater and Christian McCaffrey should take this team to the postseason real soon. Tepper, unlike so many other owners, isn't afraid to make sweeping changes. We admire that. Number 23, Mark Davis, Las Vegas Raiders. Mark Davis took over following the passing of his father, Al, in 2011. Unfortunately, the younger Davis hasn't implemented a proud winning culture like his dad did for all those years. The Raiders have had one winning season under Mark, giving $100 million to John Gruden. Looks like a questionable decision so far. Gruden, by the way, marked the 5th head coach under Mark Davis ownership. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of organizational stability here. Hopefully a move to Vegas changes that. Number 22, Pat Bowlen estate, Denver Broncos. Tough one to rank given the circumstances. Late owner Pat Bowlen was one of the best in football. The Broncos won 3 Super Bowls in his tenure. Sadly, he passed away on June 13, 2019. Before the 2014 season, Bowlen gave up team control due to his battle with Alzheimer's. While the Bowlen family continues to work through the ownership control, President and CEO Joe Ellis has helped run the team. The Broncos have recorded 3 straight losing seasons and 4 straight non-playoff years. But John Elway has to be blamed in some capacity for not being able to find a reliable quarterback. You better hope that Drew Lock is the answer. Number 21, Stephen Ross, Miami Dolphins. This may be too generous in the eyes of many frustrated Dolphin fans, but Ross' work over the past year netted him the number 21 spot. Firing Adam Gase and bringing in Brian Flores already looks like a home run. Ross was all aboard the tank train in 2019. That helped the Dolphins get their man in Tua Tagovailoa. Miami also added the likes of Byron Jones, Shaq Lawson, Matt Breida, Jordan Howard, and Kyle Van Noy during the 2020 offseason. Suddenly, the Dolphins looked legitimate, and it's all thanks to Ross' rebuild. Number 20, Dean Spanos, Los Angeles Chargers. The Chargers are coming off a disappointing 2019 season, but credit Dean for making the tough call and moving on from Phillip Rivers. It was painful but necessary. The Chargers are getting a brand new stadium, which should help their attendance woes. Dean doesn't have a great track record as owner in terms of wins and losses over the years, but the Chargers are trending up here. He could find himself closer to the top 10 in the next 2 or 3 years, if all ages according to plan. Number 19, John Mara and Steve Tisch, New York Giants. The Giants may have won Super Bowls 42 and 46 under these guys, but their most recent title was 9 seasons ago now. What have the G-men done since then? They've wasted so much money in free agency. Their drafting has been awful. They were way too loyal to Eli Manning and that set him back. The front office hasn't moved this team forward in any way, trading Odell Beckham Jr. after giving him a mega extension. How's that working for you now? They only cracked the top 20 because of those 2 Super Bowl banners. Number 18, Virginia Hallis McCaskey, Chicago Bears. The Bears are just 2 years removed from a 12-win season and NFC North Division title. They stumbled to an 8-8 finish in 2019, but at least the Bears are no longer terrible. McCaskey is currently the longest tenured owner in the NFL. She simply hasn't been as bad at their job as all these other owners. Given the Bears' status as a mediocre team, a mediocre ranking seems fair here. Number 17, McNair family, Houston Texans. The McNairs are in this spot because, well, we have no idea why they handed Bill O'Brien the GM duties.
You what?
He traded away Jadeveon Clowney and DeAndre Hopkins for well below market value. In our opinions, owners shouldn't be satisfied with division titles and merely one playoff win every few years. If the McNairs did it right, the Texans would be a legitimate Super Bowl contender by now. But I mean, hey, if 10 wins is enough to satisfy them, they shouldn't expect to move up our rankings anytime soon. Number 16, Arthur Blank, Atlanta Falcons. The Falcons haven't recovered from their Super Bowl 51 heartbreak, but the franchise has been fairly steady under Blank, who stepped in as owner in 2002. He compiled a 153-134 and 1 record with 8 playoff berths and 3 NFC Championship game appearances on his resume. Criticize him all you want for being too loyal to Thomas Dimitroff and Dan Quinn, but half these teams in the league should wish they had Blank as their owner. He's not too hands-on, and he often hires the right men to do the work, and women too, 2020. And those ridiculously cheap stadium food and beverage prices make him even more likable. $15 tall boys suck, and he just made it cheaper, so I like him. Number 15, Stan Kroenke, Los Angeles Rams. 3 straight winning seasons, 2 NFC West Division titles, and an NFC Championship banner over that span. That will pardon Kroenke from the miserable stretch run his Rams had from 2010 to 16. Bringing in Sean McVay as head coach. Nicely done. And from a business standpoint, the brand new SoFi Stadium is as luxurious as they come. If the Rams can win a Super Bowl, they ought to put a Kroenke statue in the front of the stadium. Maybe. Number 14, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys. Jones finally moved on from Jason Garrett, which was a huge win in itself. Honestly, Jason Garrett makes me embarrassed to be named Jason. Bringing in Super Bowl winning coach Mike McCarthy was also a home run. Gotta love that CeeDee Lamb pick. Another strong showing at the draft by Jerry. We're pretty high on the Cowboys turnaround in 2020, which is why Jones is higher on our list than most Dallas fans probably expected. Number 13, Jim Irsay, Indianapolis Colts. Credit Jim for picking the right men to lead the team in GM Chris Ballard and head coach Frank Reich. Even with Andrew Luck long gone, the future is very bright in Indianapolis. Don't blame Jim entirely for the frustrating stretch from 2015 to 17. A healthy Luck would have made a difference. The Colts were a perennial powerhouse under Peyton Manning, winning Super Bowl 41 in the 2006 season. Jim's 275 and 252 record speaks for itself here. Number 12, Ziggy Wilf, Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are still searching for their first Super Bowl, but this organization has been better and more stable than most since Wilf took over in 2005. 3 playoff berths, a trip to the NFC Championship game, and 4 winning seasons dating back to the 2015 campaign. Wilf has been smart with his hires in the front office and in the coaching staff. He always opens up his wallet to keep his star players too. He's done everything possible to try and field the championship team. Wilf tries harder than most, and the recent results show it. Now if the Vikings could just break through and get him that Lombardi trophy. Number 11, Pegula family, Buffalo Bills. The Pegulas might be the worst NHL owners, but they're certainly trending up as NFL owners. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane are constructing a future powerhouse here. The Bills should be the kings of the AFC East with Tom Brady long gone now. Things are looking good for Buffalo with Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Tre'Davious White, and Ed Oliver, among others. Don't be surprised if the Pegulas are in the top 10 come next year's rankings. Number 10, Jody Allen, Seattle Seahawks. Allen took over the Seahawks following the passing of her brother, team owner and co-founder Paul Allen. It was obviously a difficult task to suddenly take over a team mid-season following Allen's untimely passing, but Jody has handled everything tremendously, and the Seahawks have recorded consecutive playoff seasons under her leadership. She's trusted savvy GM John Snyder and Pete Carroll to steer the ship. She stays out of the personnel matters and lets them do their work. That's all the Seahawks fans can ask for. Number 9, the York family, San Francisco 49ers. The 49ers ended a 6-year playoff drought and returned to prominence in 2019, winning 13 games en route to a Super Bowl 54 appearance. That led to a nice jump in the rankings for the York family. Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch have put together something special. Credit the Yorks for finding the right men while also giving Shanahan the delicate patience he needed. These 49ers will be a force for a long time as they try to win that elusive 6th Lombardi trophy. Number 8, Amy Adams Strunk, Tennessee Titans. When your fans refer to you as mom, you must be doing something right. I mean, look at these photos. She looks like the nicest lady in the world. Like, I just want her to give me like a hug. I don't know. Who's your mommy? What? Strunk took over as owner in 2015 following the passing of her father, Bud Adams. The Titans have recorded 4 straight 9-7 seasons under Strunk, including 2 wildcard berths and a surprise trip to the 2019 AFC Championship game. Strunk hit a home run when she hired John Robinson as GM. Robinson in turn hit a homer when he hired Mike Vrabel as the new head coach. The Titans have a new fun-loving culture after over a decade of mediocrity. What more can the people in Nashville ask for? Number 7, Gail Benson, New Orleans Saints. Mrs. Benson took over the Saints following the passing of her husband, Tom Benson, in 2018. The Saints have recorded back-to-back 13-win seasons under her leadership, including a trip to the 2018 NFC Championship game. For the most part, Benson has quietly sat back while GM Mickey Loomis and head coach Sean Payton continued to work their magic. When you have a consistent championship contending team, all you can ask is for the owner to not get too involved. And so far, Benson has done just that. Number 6, Green Bay Packers Inc. Green Bay Packers. Who needs one owner when you're publicly owned and a consistent winner? The Packers went from perennial contention with Brett Favre to even more greatness with Aaron Rodgers. Team president and CEO Mark Murphy led a smooth turnaround when he replaced Mike McCarthy with Matt LaFleur, who took the Packers to the 2019 NFC Championship game. The Packers have wasted some of Rodgers' prime years, no doubt, which slightly affects their ranking, but most NFL teams would love to be a consistent contender like the Cheeseheads. Number 5, Jeffrey Lurie, Philadelphia Eagles. 3 straight winning seasons and a playoff berth for him and the Eagles. Remember all the backlash he received for sticking with Howie Roseman, who was ripped big time for hiring Doug Peterson? Turns out Larry knew what he was doing the whole time. He brought the Eagles their first ever Super Bowl championship, and there's no reason to think they can win more in the near future. Number 4, Clark Hunt, Kansas City Chiefs. Finally, Hunt and the Chiefs reached the top of the mountain in 2019. The Chiefs won Super Bowl 54 to end a half-century-long championship drought. Hunt's faith in Andy Reid and GM Brett Veach have paid off tremendously, immensely, magnificently, stupendously, a bunch of other adjectives. It took them some time, but they finally got the job done, and it doesn't look like these Chiefs are going anywhere anytime soon. More Super Bowls appear to be on the horizon for Hunt, so they're in good hands. Number 3, Steve Bisciotti, Baltimore Ravens. Only 3 losing seasons for the Ravens since Bisciotti became owner in 2004. They're coming off consecutive AFC North Division titles. Good thing he kept good guy John around when they looked headed for a split. Trusting Eric DeCosta to take over for Ozzie Newsome was a stroke of genius too. He has a 151-105 record as owner, and of course that Super Bowl 47 championship helps his placement here. And a future spot in Canton looks likely at this point. Number 2, Rooney family, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Steelers Steelers have been the model of consistency under the Rooneys. Only 3 head coaches, dating back to 1969. GM Kevin Colbert has been in the front office since 2000. The Steelers haven't had a losing season since 2003. And oh yeah, they won Super Bowl 40 and 43, and have 3 AFC title banners in the 21st century. The Rooneys have set the golden standard for sports ownership. If it weren't for the next guy on our list, they'd be in the top spot every single year. Number 1, Robert Kraft, New England Patriots. We also ranked Bill Belichick as the best coach and the best GM. We said that it would be a long time until Belichick loses the top spot. The same applies to Kraft. Call us when another current owner wins 6 Super Bowls. Nobody has done their job better than Kraft. He's by far the best owner among all North American professional sports teams. Hey, don't at me. What changes would you make to our rankings for every NFL owner? Join me in the comment section below. Make sure to follow myself and TPS on social media. We post great content all the time. YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, we are on everything. Twitter, TPS posts great memes. I post content too. Go follow us. If you like this video, give it a like. It takes 1 click down below. And of course, subscribe to TPS. We post videos every day. Every day's a new video. My stomach's rumbling. I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get some food. Thanks for watching. Jason Biondo. See you next time.
My knee.